Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming, and thanks for Red Cloud for the conference, and Bennett Jones for sponsoring us. For those of you who are not aware of Grid Metals, we've been focused on lithium since the start of 2022, and we've actually moved quite quickly. And our focus is to build a lithium business in Southeast Manitoba. And when you look at the map for hard rock lithium projects in Canada, there's obviously a ton going on in Quebec, which has been active for many years. Ontario's a hotbed, but the prospective geology does extend into Manitoba, and that's where we're based in southern Manitoba, about an hour and a half from Winnipeg. So we're targeting to be one of the next permitted lithium mines in Canada. I'll tell you why. We have a resource, which we delineated over the last 18 months, and we published that the end of last year. And we're currently completing a PEA for our project. And what's different about our company is that what we're trying to do is utilize existing infrastructure, mill facilities, to be able to process the lithium. We have two options there, and one is the True North mill, which is the gold mill in Bessette. And we completed a scoping study on that to look at how do we convert a flotation circuit for gold into flotation circuit for lithium. And then the other option that we have is we're right next to the Tanko mine, which has been producing lithium and related rare metal products since 1968, and they still have a mill there that's doesn't have enough ore. So that's really the options that we're looking at, and I'll go through that in a bit. We also, historically, we've been working on nickel copper sulfides. We've done a number of studies over the years on our resource. We have a new resource pending, and we think it's one of the better undeveloped base metal projects in Canada, and it's got a unique profile. It's actually right next to the lithium deposit. So we, in terms of near-term catalysts, we have a winter program going at two properties, including our Falcon West, which is a brand new greenstone belt that we've just started exploration on. We control most of the belt, and we're looking to announce our maiden PEA first half this year, and then news on advancing our projects towards production. Our capital structure, we have a market cap of about $13 million. Share price has been beaten up like everybody else. We've got about $6 million in the bank. We have two key shareholders. One is Waratah group of funds, and they're the group that launched Lithium Royalty Corp. So they were original seed shareholder in the lithium effort, and they have a royalty and 25% interest in our Donner Lake project. Our second large shareholder is a group called American Manganese and Coal, AMCI Group, and that's a privately owned group that looks to invest in mining projects around the world. They own producing coal, iron ore, copper assets, manganese on I think 4 different continents. And Pat Murphy is our board delegate, and he's based in Sydney. Brandon Smith's here today. He joined us he was a lithium analyst at Cormark. And he's like that razor guy who liked the product so much he bought the company. In Brandon's case, he came on to join us. He liked what we were doing. Dave Peck is our head of technical. Dave came and joined us initially for the work we were doing in nickel and palladium. And Dave has international experience. He ran Anglo American's nickel group globally for new deposits, and he was before he joined us, he was the vice president exploration, one of three key guys at North American Palladium, and before that company was sold to Impala for $1 billion at the end of 2019. And you can see our other board members, including Grant McAdam, who's with Waratah. So Manitoba is maybe not the province that people think of in terms of critical metals that springs to mind. We've been operating there since 2006. The company was known as Mustang Minerals before. Manitoba has the Tanko mine, which is an operating lithium project. And they also have a cesium formate plant. Cesium is one of critical metals that has increasing applications, very rare. And Manitoba also has the Thompson Nickel Belt, so they've been producing nickel. And then, of course, the Flin Flon Snow Lake deposits that Hud Bay owns. And, I mention this because we see Manitoba as an extremely supportive province for critical metals. There's a new premier there, Wab Kinew, just got elected. And, I think the message from Premier Kinew is that if you have the support of the First Nations, you'll get your project permitted. And we're taking that to heart. And, we've had a long history with the First Nation group that we deal with. And they have a new chief there as well. And so we think that, in summary, there's a really good opportunity socially to get a new project permitted. Manitoba is also very close to the U.S., has high ESG credentials, cheap power like in Quebec, and 97% of the power in the province comes from hydroelectric power. And we were one of the private companies. I think there were 2 private companies announced that we were at the presentation of the province's critical metals strategy. So there's the location of our projects. I think really importantly, I always point out to people, you can see where Winnipeg is on the left-hand side, and it's almost 1 million people in the metro area. The Falcon West project is to the south. That is we control the entire greenstone belt there. And that has we're just drilling that now. We're looking for a major belt scale discovery. There's some historical high-grade lithium, cesium, tantalum at the property. So we looking to figure out what's going on there, which we hopefully we will find something analogous to what you find in Quebec, big belt scale discovery. Donner Lake is in the middle, and that's 75% owned. We drilled off a resource, 6.8 million tons, about 1.4. And this is the one that we're looking to get that project permitted very quickly. And the PEA will look at the economics of trucking the ore up the road, provincial highway, to the True North Mill in Bessette. And as I say, we're still looking at ways that we could potentially utilize the capacity at the Tanco mine. Tanco has been producing since 1968 and is currently owned by Sinomine, which is a Chinese-based company that is a large chemical player. Lithium, they own the Bakita mine in Zimbabwe, and they also have a lithium hydroxide plant, so a very sophisticated player. I think they're pretty boxed in Canada because of the Chinese ownership, but it creates some good opportunities for us as a junior. And we had been talking to them about toll milling at their mill, so. This is, in terms of our resource, a picture of our core. Our ore body only is there's 2 dikes range from 3.5 to 5 meters wide. The nice thing about these dikes is they're vertical. You can see the pegmatite, which is rock, which is white. The country rock is dark rock, so the very distinct definition. And they're vertical, so that means that when we do have to go underground, the underground mining costs will be a lot less expensive. And so, this is the project that we're looking to get permitted. We've done quite a bit of metallurgical work. We're seeing we need to do flotation. We're looking at recoveries, somewhere around 70%, and we've done a number of phases. The resource, as I said, 2 dikes, good grade, very consistent. The 2 dikes are about 1 kilometer apart, and that consists of open pit and underground material. And importantly, both of the main dike and northwest dike, where the resources are, they're both open to depth. The main, we've drilled down to about 250 meters, and all the holes on the deepest row of holes had good grade, which is actually going up. So, we just in the current drill program, we've gone in and we're upgrading the northwest dike inferred to indicated, because that'll be a small pit to start. And in the main dike, we've drilled a few deeper holes because we want to test for the continuity of the main dike at depth, because ultimately we'll want to see the resource grow significantly. We throw up this slide to give a bit of a view of the timeline, we have the same team in place that permitted the Reed Mine, which is a Hud Bay project, and the similarities there is they were toll milling. It was a resource that they took to an existing mill, and the permitting timeline was very, very fast by standards around the country, and that's really because you don't have to put in new tailings. So if you put in new tailings, it's going to add 3 to 5 years to your permitting process. Whereas what we're doing at True North is we just have we'd be utilizing existing tailings facility, and we needed to do what's called a notice of alteration. So we have to show the geochemistry will not add to the deleterious elements of the tailings, and we're pretty confident that's going to be the case. So where we are now, once we've produced our PEA, we're going to be starting on our mining permitting, and we hope to have our mining permit next year for our project. So that's really fast timeline. We're awaiting our advanced exploration permit from the province, which advanced exploration permit in Manitoba will enable us to put in road, buildings, take a bulk sample, and do a lot of things to really get the mining going. So we expect to have that quite soon, and that'll be a good sign to the market that permitting is going to happen in the province. So it's a really aggressive timeline, but we think it's doable. Manitoba is a very small province. You have direct access to the people who approve the mining permits, and we think it's a real opportunity here. So both of these mill options, you can see the Tanco to the south, True North Mill to the north. There's the one highway that goes from one to the other, and Donner Lake's in the middle. We signed an agreement to utilize the idle True North Mill, and we did a scoping study last fall on that. We used Primero Engineering, which is the premier lithium consultant. They do projects all over the world, and they came up with the capital expenditure numbers and metallurgy, and gave us confidence to proceed with the optioning of that mill. And as I say, that's about 85 kilometers away from Donner Lake. The scope of the project that we're looking at is to produce about 75,000 tons per annum of spodumene concentrate. And in our view, we think the prices will revert into the long-term price, somewhere around $1,800 US per ton of SC6, and we're kind of targeting $900 to $1,000 per ton of spodumene concentrate. So this project, conceptually would kick out around $100 million cash flow and per annum, and the capital intensity is going to be super low. Because the mill configuration that we got was $40 million, and there might be another $40 million for the mine when we go underground. And there's a whole host of government programs and tax credits coming on that we think we're able to utilize to avoid dilution as we go forward here. So this is the scale and scope of the project, and really going forward, we want to focus on Southeast Manitoba. There's a number of juniors in the area. Minres, which is I think the 5th largest spodumene producer globally, they have a joint venture in the area with a company called New Age Metals, and there's a few other juniors. But I think it's we're the one that's moving the fastest. We're the only one with the resource, and ultimately we want to be a consolidator in this area. This is the True North Mill, an aerial view. They have limited options for gold milling, which is why they look to do a deal with us. The mill's in fantastic shape. To build something like this, the replacement value would be well over $200 million. I think we have about another $2.5 million in payments on the lease, and then we will pay them a royalty and a per ton fee as lithium ore goes through the plant, and we think that's a win-win. And you can see the road going off on the top right of the picture, and that goes right down to our Donner Lake project. That's a provincial road, and the tailings facility to the north. So, we think this is a great opportunity for us by utilizing existing infrastructure to get into production. So, we did our homework before we acquired this, and we're pretty confident it's going to work. just some details on the agreement. There's a picture of the flotation circuit, which is fairly new, and the grinding circuit. A lot of times these, companies pick up mills and, to be honest, they're just junk. This just operated just over a year ago, so it's in good shape. A lot of the equipment is replaced in 1911 Gold, which is the company that is the owner. They've kept it in good shape. So, we do have some ongoing payments, but it's very minimal in relation to the upside for our company. There's an aerial view of the Tanco mill and some of the spodumene concentrate that is being shipped out of there. Tanco is one of 2 operating lithium spodumene concentrators in the country, but the mine there is on its last legs. And we've had a number of extensive discussions with them about filling their mill. It's a small mill, but the capex again would be minimal because it's already set up for spodumene production. So we've done a lot of work on discussions with them, but when True North came along, in a economic sense, True North, we would keep all the profits essentially. So that was the better option. But we're certainly looking for ways to be able to find a definitive deal with Tanco and increase production that way. So they're our neighbors, so we're working hard at transacting something with them. Donner Lake, we have an exploration team on site. Our VP, Dave Peck, is based in Winnipeg. Our site geos are Winnipeg. And so we're able to do our own exploration work. And, we're going to our 3rd season, and we have some pretty good targets for drilling. So we're confident we're going to find more resources out there. And as we continue the search. So some of the dikes that we're drilling right now have been known, but, we're using lithogeochem and other methods, geophysics, to find new targets. In Falcon West, we're really excited. That's the very large land package to the south. It's the next greenstone belt south of Tanco. Tanco's famous, the Tanco greenstone belt. It's the most differentiated, highly evolved pegmatite systems in the world. Tanco's about 40 million tons. And when you get into metals such as cesium at Tanco, they have like 20% cesium, which is phenomenal value. And grade, and we see similar cesium values down at Falcon West. That tells you've got a very evolved system. That's just a good sign for the belt. There isn't a lot of outcrop at the belt, but we think we're going off some historical work, and we're hoping to make a discovery here. And again, our hurdle rate for finding, a size of deposit can be much smaller, because particularly if we can do toll milling at a place like Tanco. So this target here that we're looking at is about 300 meters off the Trans-Canada Highway. So you can't beat that. So we'll have results coming out at Falcon West. We're looking to re-rate the company. Obviously, we need to deliver on our PEA, on exploration, on our permitting. We're a new company in the lithium space, so I think people are skeptical, but we've got some great supportive shareholders and a good team, and we look to get a big re-rate as the lithium market comes back. And as I mentioned, we have lots of upside optionality, and we're looking to do something with that copper nickel project going forward. Some really phenomenal results. This kind of got lost in our lithium push. There's the resource, over $2 billion of metal. So that's really it for us. Stay tuned for news as we develop our project, come out with a PEA, and start to make progress on our permitting. And thanks for your attention today.